Robinhood ended up tricking me out of what could have been my biggest trade to date. I spent $400 buying this SPY put debit spread with a max profit of $4,600, and I should have made max profit, but Robinhood's risk management team told me to close out of these spreads before 3 o'clock to avoid them closing it for me. So I ended up only making $400 in profit versus the $4,600 that I could have had. So I ended up missing out on $4,200 in profits because of Robinhood's risk management team. So today I'm going to show you how this trade went down, why Robinhood closes spreads at 3 o'clock on your expiration date, and 2 ways that you can avoid this happening to you. This trade started out on the assumption that SPY would be below $406 on my expiration date that I had set for August 26th. And if we go look at the charts on Thinkorswim, SPY ended up closing the day at $405.32. So I should have made max profit because this was a put debit spread and both of the puts that I had opened expired in the money, but instead I got this message from Robinhood's risk management team at 2 o'clock. We may close some or all of this position for you if it is still at risk during the last hour of trading. To avoid this, you can close a position prior to 3 p.m. today. And I spent the entire hour from whenever they sent this message at 2 o'clock until 3 p.m. stressing about this trade on when to get out, when I wanted to hold it into the expiration date, but instead I ended up closing 30 of these spreads at $25 a piece. And I had originally opened 40 of these spreads at $6 each, and I ended up adding to this position to where I had 50 spreads at $8 each. So this would have turned $400 into $5,000. But thanks to the risk management system, I had to close this before the expiration. And the reason why this happens is because of what's known as pin risk. Pin risk is whenever you're holding a spread option into your expiration date and the stock that you're trading is close to the strike prices that you chose. And the reason why Robinhood closes out of this at 3 o'clock on your expiration date is because of the small chance that the stock could land between your strike prices on your expiration. But not only does it have to be between your strike prices on your expiration date, both of your options have to be in the money at 4 o'clock on your expiration to where Robinhood is going to start to exercise the options that you bought and assign the options that you sold. But then suddenly the stock moves after hours to where one of your options moves out of the money to where it can't be exercised or assigned. This will mean that you would either have to buy or sell 100 shares of the stock for every spread option that you have open. So for the 30 put spreads that I had open with the 407 and 406 strike prices, if SPY was below $406 at 4 o'clock on my expiration date, which it was, Robinhood would have started to assign the 406 puts that I sold and exercise the 407 puts that I bought. But then if SPY moved after hours to above $406, then the 406 put would have been out of the money to where Robinhood would have canceled the assignment on the 406 put, and I would have just been left with exercising the 30 407 puts to sell 3,000 shares of SPY at $407, which would have cost me $1.2 million. But with my $13,000 account, obviously I can't afford that. But it would have been really nice if Robinhood could have extended the period from 3 o'clock to maybe 3:30, because if I had just 5 extra minutes to hold on to this trade, I would have had double the profits that I made. But I'm done talking about my gripes. Let's talk about solutions. The first solution and the most obvious would be to avoid using Robinhood to trade spread options. And this one I haven't quite figured out yet because Robinhood makes it so stinking simple to trade spreads that a baby could figure it out. But there's other brokers that will allow you to carry your spread options later into your expiration date, say at like 3:30 instead of 3 o'clock using Robinhood, and this would have made a huge difference in my profits. A good broker that I like with a pretty similar user interface would be Aries, and they allow you to carry your spreads into 3:30 on your expiration date. So they give you 30 extra minutes to make a decision on closing your spread, and again, this can make a huge difference. And another problem with trading spread options on Robinhood is the bid-ask spread. These are about as wide as a damn semi-truck. I've used other brokers like Aries, TD Ameritrade, and the bid-ask spreads are about 20% of what I found on Robinhood. So it might be like a 10-cent spread on Robinhood, whereas it'll only be maybe a 2 or a 3-cent bid-ask spread on TD Ameritrade or Aries. So this is why whenever you open a spread option on Robinhood and you're going with either the bid price or the ask price, you're automatically losing money as soon as you open that position. Whereas if you were to use a different broker, the bid-ask spread is going to be a lot tighter, to where you're going to lose less money whenever you open the option. So switching brokers is the first solution to avoiding this with Robinhood, and the second solution is going to be to choose wiser strike prices, or strike prices that are more likely to result in max profit. Had I went with, say, 411, 410 put strike prices on my debit spread, there would have been a much greater chance of SPY being below $410 to where Robinhood wouldn't have had to warn me about closing my spread at 3 o'clock. This would have also adjusted my max profit and max loss to where I would have taken on more risk paying more to open these spread options, which would have reduced my max profit for the trade, but this would have saved me the headache between 2 and 3 o'clock of having to time when to get out of these spreads. So those are the two ways that you can avoid this happening to you in Robinhood, tricking you out of making max profit for your spread options. Hopefully you found this video useful. Thanks for making it all the way to the end, and thank you to all my patrons for their support. And as always, remember to stay positive, stay green. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.